San Francisco 49ers training camp is the hottest ticket in town right now because if you just attempted to go buy tickets via Ticketmaster at noon Pacific Standard Time, there's a good chance you weren't that successful, just like me. We all tried to hop on at noon to go get our 49ers training camp tickets, something that I have personally been doing for years. I attend every training camp practice for the last couple years now, and buying tickets has really never been a problem. But this year was a much different story. This was the first time it was directly run through Ticketmaster, primarily before the 49ers would have it inside their own app or website. This was the first time it was, I think, handled externally, primarily through Ticketmaster. Well, it was very, very difficult to get your hands on tickets if you tried. Now, it doesn't mean you were completely unsuccessful. There's a good chance you're able to get a couple tickets, but as you can see, Ticketmaster has this queue system where you have to basically get in line and you have to join a queue. Now, the biggest queue that I was in, you can see it went pretty quickly because all these tickets are sold by now. But the biggest queue that I had joined was 500, meaning there were 500 people at one point waiting to get tickets. I think that specific day that I was looking at was it was a Saturday or Sunday practice, which makes sense. A lot of people can't make it during the week, so they go on the weekends. Well, that was a crazy line. And so this is a perfect example. Look, I'm apparently in a queue right now that has 458 people ahead of me. It is 1:36. These tickets have been sold out for a better part of an hour and a half already. They went extremely quick. But this is kind of what it looked like. So when I was trying to get my tickets, it was really difficult because half the time you had to jump into a queue, which kind of prevented you from jumping to the next ticket. It turned into a situation where I had to open up multiple tabs and try to click on as many of these different links as possible to try to get in as far ahead of the queue as possible for a specific date and then get in and purchase the tickets. Well, that was successful with 4 of the dates. So I was able to get 4 training camp dates. There are still 5 that I was not able to obtain. And from DMs that I've received, some back and forth on the timeline, this appears to be pretty common. There's a handful of tickets that got people were able to get, but people who have gone to all training camp practices, which like I do, I've done that multiple years in a row now. They weren't able to get all those tickets. They weren't able to get consecutive every single day from training camp. At least I haven't come across someone yet. Most of the people that I've spoke to so far have had real trouble getting tickets. So it's definitely not like it has been in years past. Years past, I was able to get in there, get all my tickets, get in and out and call it a day. This to me feels like this sets up a secondary market, resale market where people who are going to be wanting to go to these training camp practices and missed out on the tickets that, like I said, sold out within the first 15 minutes, they're probably going to have to turn to Craigslist and probably have to pay a premium as a result, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. It does appear that all these training camp practices will be held in stadium. Now, I can't confirm that. Typically, the 49ers have their practice field that you park in the stadium. They will take you on shuttles to the practice fields, and they have their own specific entrance where you go and you watch practice. I don't know if that's the case. I can't tell if all these practices will actually be inside Levi Stadium. I would assume they wouldn't be because obviously that would mess up the grass quite a bit in the stadium. The 49ers haven't practiced in stadium since 2021. They had one training camp practice at Levi Stadium in 2021. none last year. I don't know if they're going to do it for all. So I don't know what field they're actually practicing on. But again, these tickets went fast. The demand was clearly high. The queue system made it really difficult to get your hands on multiple tickets because again, if you didn't have multiple kind of divide and conquer attack where you had multiple people trying to take care of certain amount of tickets, by the time you kind of got through the process and you actually got into some of these queues, a lot of the times you get into the queue, like I'd make it through the queue and the tickets would be sold out. So there was no tickets. You'd wait and you'd get through, no tickets. So I've seen a lot of questions. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. I've gotten a lot of DMs about this. So I wanted to share my process. Um, and again, I was sitting here waiting. I had a timer, an alarm to make like 2 minutes early to make sure I was ready to go. Second links dropped, I was on it because I'm reliant on getting these training camp tickets for the content that we do here. So that's a big deal for me personally to get my hands on these tickets. And again, I was unsuccessful, and I was trying my hardest. I had multiple tabs open, waiting in multiple queues at each individual times. And like I said, you'd get through the queue and the tickets would be sold out. You wouldn't even have an opportunity to buy those tickets. And when you look at it, season ticket holders had an opportunity to get their hands on tickets on Thursday before the general public. So who knows how many tickets went on Thursday, but it made for tickets going really, really fast today. And again, like I said, I typically will be able to get. I buy 1 to 2 tickets, sometimes more because I do ticket giveaways on my channel, but wasn't the case this year. We definitely struck out on more than we hit, and it's going to be an interesting scenario to see what the secondary market looks like for these tickets. Again, these were $10 tickets. They were up from 5 last year on the secondary market. If there's this much demand, I wouldn't be surprised if these things are going over 100 on Craigslist and things like that. So that's unfortunate, because I know people just want to see their team. They just want to get out there and experience 49ers training camp, which I recommend to everyone. Being able to go experience 49ers training camp. It's great family event when you bring your kids, get autographs after. It's just a really cool experience. It's super fun. I've been going to training camp since 2011. It's something that I've taken my kids to and done quite a bit of. So I just wanted to kind of show you the process, kind of give you my kind of experience with this, because I know a lot of people, like I said, have reached out to me. I've seen their own comments on the timeline, and just a lot of, I don't know if I want to call it issues or just demand issues. A lot of people want to see this team. A lot of people are excited for the San Francisco 49ers next year and what they're going to do. So it is what it is, I guess. I doubt there will be additional tickets available at this particular point because, again, they only have, so many seated areas. It's not like this big bleacher area. If they are, in fact, holding it at the practice fields, obviously, if they're in the stadium, they could house a ton of fans. But if it's at the standard kind of practice field, there's only so many spots. There's only so many uh, limited, seats. It's what it comes down to. And you can see I'm somehow still 192. There's still 192 people ahead of me since this whole time I've been talking. Um, so again, this is probably what you experienced. You waited, you got in, tickets weren't available. So you know, one of those things, evolving situation. Again, like I said, this hasn't happened in years past. This is definitely new. But again, just wanted to share my experience with trying to get these tickets. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you ran into some similar issues. Uh, if you have any questions about like my experience, you can ask me in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. Like I said, the next best thing to do, keep your eyes on Craigslist. Can guarantee you people are going to be reselling these things. Probably not going to be at a price that you want to pay, but that's where I would look if you're really dead set on getting into training camp. Um, Outside of that, they went fast. A lot of demand. A lot of people excited about the San Francisco 49ers. Let me know what your situation was